Good afternoon and welcome to the special weather briefing for winter weather across north and central Georgia, 2 p.m. Monday, January 15th, 2024. My name is Dave Nadler and I'm with the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Atlanta. Wanted to highlight some changes from this morning, basically to our winter weather products. The winter storm warnings in pink up across far north Georgia haven't changed, but we ended up extending and expanding the winter weather advisory to include downtown Atlanta, Fulton County, Carroll County, Douglas County, Paulding, Cobb, and Forsyth County. Concerned about a brief period of light freezing rain or drizzle before everything ends early tomorrow morning, late tonight into early tomorrow morning, basically between about 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. as the colder air moves in behind that Arctic boundary. But just enough to create some icy spots, slick conditions over some of the elevated roadways, bridges, and overpasses. So ended up expanding the winter weather advisory to include those counties. And the farther north you go into North Georgia, the existing winter weather advisories is still for that wintry mix of sleet, maybe a little bit of snow, changing over to freezing rain tonight into early tomorrow morning as well. Latest conditions as of around midday, we got satellite on the left showing some moisture, deeper moisture across parts of North Alabama, northern Georgia ahead of this system that's also going to be pushing the Arctic cold front across the area later on tonight into tomorrow. Radar is showing a heavier band of some snow mixed with sleet at times and transitioning over to some rain in some of the lower elevations at this time, but another round of wintry precipitation, especially across far north Georgia, is expected later this evening as the entire system moves east across the region. Right now, the temperatures are pretty mild across much of the area, but you can see the effects of that Arctic boundary are dipping into far northwest Georgia with temperatures around 30 degrees in like Trenton over toward Dalton. But then as you head like Columbus, Macon, Eatonton area, temperatures are in upper 50s, lower 60s. So pretty good gradient of temperatures across the area today. That will cease to exist by this time tomorrow. So what you're seeing here is just a snapshot of temperatures. What's going to happen, you're just seeing temperatures around 3 o'clock in the morning, overnight tonight, into the day tomorrow. But what's expected to happen is that from a line along I-85 to the west, temperatures are going to fall into the mid to upper 20s by about 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And they may struggle to get out of the upper 20s, low 30s for parts of all of Atlanta metro to the north and west through the day tomorrow, with temperatures slow to rebound even south and east of these areas tomorrow afternoon. Then the bottom falls out tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. But the concern, as I mentioned earlier, in the winter weather advisory counties is any precip, even if it's very light, that falls into these shallow cold temperatures, drop at or below 32 degrees. We could see some locally slick conditions and icy roads develop, especially, again, mainly on the bridges and overpasses around Atlanta metro. I think the main roads will be fine, but it won't take much, especially if temperatures drop below like 29, 28 degrees to see some icy conditions develop, even in the early morning hours tomorrow. What you're seeing here is a reasonable worst case scenario of ice accumulation. Anywhere in yellow is at least 1/100 of an inch of ice, which doesn't seem like a lot, but getting that glaze or trace of frozen liquid basically on the roads, especially the bridges and overpasses, again, that could be problematic for travel. The graphic that you see on the right is from our National Center, the Weather Prediction Center, showing upwards of maybe 20 to 30% chance around Atlanta of seeing at least 1/100 of an inch of freezing rain. Which again, it's not a lot of liquid amounts, but any amount where temperatures are at or below freezing, especially if they drop into the upper 20s during the early morning hours tomorrow, the roads will respond to that, and there could be some slick spots developing pretty quickly, again, between that 5 to 9 a.m. time frame tomorrow. Zoomed in a little bit closer to see the Atlanta metro area. Again, worst case is basically saying that there's about a 10% of seeing this much, which isn't a lot, but it's showing you where some of the measurable precipitation as the colder air moves in late tonight into early tomorrow morning will exist. Again, supporting the reason why we expanded the winter weather advisory for later tonight through the morning hours tomorrow. So yeah, just even if you're outside of the yellow shaded area to the north and east of Atlanta, there still could be some slick spots that develop on area roads tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout for that. And it'll be like black ice, where it'll be really difficult to tell whether it's liquid or actual frozen precipitation on the ground. The couple of our ensemble models, which is a large suite of models, are showing a high probability of seeing at least 1/100th of an inch of some precipitation between now and tomorrow morning. So that's again supports the fact that if the colder air gets in here before the precip ends, we could be dealing with that light freezing rain or drizzle across parts of the along the I-85 corridor there around Atlanta and to the north of I-20. So yeah, that's an area of concern that supports the winter weather advisory being issued and expanded south for later tonight. Snow pretty much coming to an end across far north Georgia, but could see another 1/2 inch to an inch in the higher elevations through this evening. These areas, especially as temperatures drop below freezing tonight, any residual water on the roads or slush could freeze up pretty quickly. So there could be some pretty significant travel concerns across far north Georgia later on this evening and into the overnight hours. And this is a reasonable worst case scenario for snowfall basically through this evening. Anywhere south of a Rome to Dawsonville to Cleveland line. Not expecting really any measurable snow at all, but this is showing you north of there, we could get a trace kind of dusting this evening. But I think most of the precip across far north Georgia tonight is going to be a mix of sleet, snow, and eventually changing over to freezing rain as the shallow cold air comes in behind that Arctic boundary. The other big story is the cold temperatures that are expected to move in not only tonight into tomorrow, but by tomorrow night, just about the entire area will be experiencing far below freezing temperatures with single digits in teens across much of the area. Our far southern and eastern counties will be in the low 20s, which is still very cold. And then factor in the wind, it'll feel much of the area will be like in the single digits or below zero by Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So more than likely we will be issuing a wind chill advisory for this cold, possibly a wind chill warning for parts of far north Georgia in the higher elevations. So it's going to be, that'll be our coldest night over the next few days, tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. As we head into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, it'll still be cold, teens and 20s for lows. The good news is that the wind chills won't be as bad. The winds are going to subside quite a bit by Wednesday afternoon. So that going into Wednesday night and early Thursday morning, the wind chills will be fairly similar to the actual air temperatures, but it'll still be cold. Temperatures for highs on Wednesday, most areas will get above freezing, although it will still be a pretty cold day with widespread 30s and 40s. By Thursday, should be about 10 degrees warmer temperatures in the upper 40s to low to mid 50s across the area. So that'll be good news as we moderate temperatures just a little bit by Thursday before the next big push of Arctic air comes in by the weekend. So that concludes this special webinar. If you have any questions, certainly you could reach us in ops. That number is actually 486-1133, 770-486-1133. We have a group email account, and then of course for those that are registered in chat, could certainly coordinate with us there. We'll probably send a couple more email updates through the night into the morning hours tomorrow, but we're not doing any special webinars at this point for this most recent event. So I hope everybody has a good rest of the day, and thank you for joining us. Be safe out there.